Hi Year 4 and welcome to your Monday afternoon science lesson. We're continuing our topic thinking about food and what people eat and animals eat to keep them healthy and to give them energy. Last lesson with Miss Whitehouse, you talked about teeth and different skulls of animals. Can you remember which animals these skulls belong to? Pause the video and see if you can remember by looking at their teeth. Okay, so hopefully you recognise that this one is an alligator. Oops, don't know why it's jumped down there. Crocodile. That this one is a tiger. You can see its big canine teeth there, can't you, coming down to tear the meat up. This one is an orangutan. And this one it's not got any canines at all. So we can tell that it doesn't eat meat from its teeth. And it's actually, if you look closely, it's actually a giraffe. Okay, so why do these animals have different teeth? Pause the video and see if you can remember why that might be. And I've given you a few little hints there in my introduction. Okay, so hopefully you remembered that animals have different teeth because of the different things that they eat. So something like an alligator that eats lots of fish and has to tear that food up, that flesh up, has to have lots of sharp canine teeth to do that. And similarly with a tiger. A giraffe doesn't eat any flesh, it only eats plants. So it needs sharp incisors to chop the food up, to bite the food, and then it needs lots of molars to grind the plants up with its back teeth. And then an orangutan eats some meat and some vegetables and some plants. So it has a sort of range of different teeth, a bit like we do actually, like human teeth, have incisors and canines and premolars and molars. So animals that only eat meat and fish and don't eat anything else are called carnivores. So if an animal only eats meat and fish, it's called a carnivore. And see if you can pause the video and name all of these carnivores that I've got pictures of on my screen. Okay, so hopefully you've remembered some of these. This one's a tiger, that's quite easy. And this one is a lion. Oops, I've not got the label there. This one is an eagle. So an eagle is a bird of prey, which means that it eats other animals and fish. This is a wolf, and wolves hunt for other animals, so they are carnivores. This one here is a shark. You can see its very sharp teeth under there. And this one is a crocodile. This one is a bit harder. I don't know if you recognise this one. It's actually an otter. And otters also eat fish, so they are carnivores. Brilliant. Animals that only eat plant-based substances are called herbivores. So herbivores are animals that only eat plants, and that can be any part of the plant. It can be the flowers or the leaves. It can be the bark or the stems of plants. So the bark is like this sort of substance on the outside of a tree, that kind of bit that peels off. It can be berries or fruit from the plant as well. And it can even be the roots of the plant. If you think about a plant like a potato or a sweet potato, the part that we eat as people it actually grows underground as part of the roots. So animals can eat that as well. And any of those parts of the plant are all classed as plant-based foods. So the animals that eat any of those parts of the plant are herbivores. So let's see if we can recognise any of these herbivores in the picture. If you want to pause the video and see if you can name them all before I reveal them, you can see what score you get. Okay, so down in the bottom here, hopefully we've all recognised this is a zebra. It's got very distinctive stripes, a bit like a stripy horse. We have got a tortoise with its shell on its back. They are herbivores. We've got a rabbit. Rabbits only eat plant-based things. They do not eat any other animals, so they are herbivores. We've got giraffes, and remember we had the giraffe skull at the beginning, didn't we? And you can see that giraffes, the purpose of their long neck is actually to be able to reach up and eat the leaves from the top of trees. It's a giraffe. We've got cows. Cows, as we know, eat grass and hay and other plant-based substances. And we've got sheep, and sheep are also herbivores who eat grass and other plants. And then animals who eat plants, meat and fish, who eat kind of a range of different foods, are called omnivores. Have a go at saying that to yourself, omnivores, omnivores. And that's a bit of a funny spelling, so just make sure that you've understood that. So let's see, if you want to pause the video and do the quiz and see if you can name some of these omnivores before we go over them, do that now. So down here, this spiky one that you might sometimes, if you're very lucky, see in your garden or in a park, is a hedgehog. Oops, it's a hedgehog. We have got the one with the stripy nose. This one's called a badger. And badgers eat plants and they also eat small animals, so they are omnivores and insects. This one is a chimpanzee. Chimpanzees eat a range of different insects and also fruit and leaves and things. And this one is a bear, and it's a grizzly bear, and they eat a range of different things. They eat honey, which comes from plants. They eat berries, which come from plants, obviously, but they also eat insects and fish. So they have quite a varied diet. They are omnivores. And this one here is a little mouse. And mice actually eat a range of things too. They eat small insects, but they also eat plant-based products, so things like seeds and nuts and berries, and a little bit of everything really. If you've ever had a mouse in your house by mistake, you might know that they eat cheese and chocolate too, which are both a mixture of plant and animal products. Okay, so scientists actually classify animals into 3 groups, and that means they decide which group they go in based on what they eat. So they put, if they're a carnivore, they are animals who only eat meat and fish. If they're a herbivore, they only eat things that come from plants. And if they're an omnivore, they eat a mixture of plants and animal and fish food. So things that come from lots of different things. And I thought we'd just quickly watch a video now to just learn about those names a little bit more and see some pictures of them.
All animals, no matter where they live, need the same things: water, shelter, and food. But different animals eat different things. Scientists divide most animals into 3 categories depending on what they eat. An animal that eats mostly meat is called a carnivore. A lion is a carnivore. Lions hunt and eat other animals, such as zebra. An animal that eats only plants is called an herbivore. The zebras in the park eat grass and other plants. They are herbivores. An animal that eats meat and plants is called an omnivore. A baboon is an omnivore. Baboons eat plants, but they also eat meat. Most people are omnivores too. Hi, my name is Paula Boulay. I am a National Geographic explorer and a lion conservationist.
Okay, so hopefully you recognise some of the different categories of animals in that film. They showed us a lion, which is a carnivore because it hunts and kills other animals, like zebra and deer. They showed us a zebra, and zebras eat the grass and the plants in the national park. They do not eat any other animals, so they are herbivores. And they also showed us a baboon, which you might recognise from our Suitcase Kid book that we're reading at the moment. So that's what a real baboon looks like. So you can imagine what Uncle Bill Baboon might look like too. And the baboons were eating a variety of things. They were picking insects up from the ground, but they also eat fruit and plants as well. So they are omnivores. So why do you think animals eat different foods? And she gave us a bit of a clue in the film, actually. And that clue was that animals live in different habitats or different places. And in different places, different food is available. Different plants grow in different places, and different animals are available to hunt. Now, that all means that different environments have different food available, and the animals eat different things depending on where they live. If they live, for example, in Antarctica, it's very, very cold there, isn't it? It's covered in ice and snow. Not many plants grow there. So really the animals that live there have to either eat plants from the sea, or they eat grass in the summer, and then they might eat other animals in the winter or hibernate in the winter. Things like penguins live there, and they live off the fish, they're carnivores. Somewhere like our country, in Britain, there's quite a lot of plants available. It's quite a temperate climate, and lots of plants grow. So there's a range of things available, but we can't grow things like tropical fruit, can we? We can't grow oranges and mangoes and pineapples in our country. So animals that eat those things won't live naturally in our country. And people eat different things in different parts of the world too. So Inuit people, who are like sort of Eskimo type people and live in the very far north in the Arctic, they eat seals, because seals are the food that's available to them. So the meat that's available to them is a seal meat, so they eat that. In Japan, which is lots of different islands, so it's got lots of sea coast, people eat a lot of seaweed, because that's what's available to them. That's a vegetable that's available to them. And in Peru, the people there eat guinea pigs, because there are lots of guinea pigs available. So that's a meat that they eat, and they cook and they kind of roast it and eat it. So think about this carefully. I'm not going to ask you for answers, because obviously I can't talk to you on this video. But have you ever been to a country where they eat different food? Or maybe you know about a country where they eat very different food to what we eat. And that's because of what's available in that country. Okay, so your task this afternoon is to think about those three definitions we've talked about carnivores who only eat meat and fish, herbivores who only eat plant-based products like berries and fruit and roots and bark and leaves, and omnivores which eat a range of different foods. You have got two tasks to do this afternoon. For task one, you are going to be completing a quiz. And in the quiz, you're going to have a range of pictures like this, which show an animal and show what they eat. So in this picture, I've got a picture of a rabbit, and the rabbit is eating dandelions and grass. So from that, you're going to have to choose. There'll be an option to choose, is it a carnivore? Is it a herbivore, or is it an omnivore? And you'll have to pick the right option for that. So this one, obviously, because the rabbit is just eating dandelions and grass, they are plant-based products, so you are going to be choosing a herbivore as the option. Remember, if you think about what a herb is, that will give you a clue. A herb is like a green thing usually that you put in your cooking. So if you think about that being a plant, then that will help you remember the names of them. And omni means everything, so they eat everything. Task 2, you're going to use a website to complete this table. So I'm going to ask you to find an example of a carnivore, a herbivore, and an omnivore using this website. I'm just going to flip and share this website with you now. And the link to this website will be on your assignment that you get through. So when you get to this website, you can see that there are sections showing you about the different types of animals. So I'm going to click on carnivores to find out about carnivores. And it's got a picture of a lion, and it's got some information about the lion here. But actually what I think might be more interesting is to look at where it says more carnivores at the bottom of the screen. And you can load it up. And there are some different pictures of the different carnivores. If you go over here, you can show and hide the text. So you want to see what it's eating. And it shows you, here's a cheetah, and the cheetah is eating this, is chasing this animal, hunting this animal, which is called a warthog. There's also a picture of, down at the bottom, you can see there's an owl, or there's a shark, or there's a crocodile. So you can choose one of those things to write about, and you can use that to complete the table. So if we read about this one, it says the crocodile eats fish, antelopes and zebras. It pulls prey into the water, then spins it round and round to tear off chunks it can swallow. Ooh, scary. Okay, so let's see if we can use that to complete our table. So I come back to this screen. So I'm going to write about the crocodile. So all I need to do in my assignment is, hopefully it's going to let me do this, is type in that the animal is a crocodile. And pop that into that box. What does it eat? Well, if we remember, it said it ate fish and also zebras and other animals. I can't remember what else it said. I could go back and check. And then the other information, it said it pulls its prey into the water, pulls food into the water and tears chunks from it. Okay, so you're going to complete the table. Yeah, I want an example of a carnivore, an example of a herbivore, and an example of an omnivore using that website. Okay, so that's it. I hope that you have a nice afternoon, and I look forward to seeing your work. Thank you very much. Bye.